And first of all, I draw the big ring. Like in previous time, all my numbers in different thirds will be absolutely same. Let's say layer number one, that is the scheme. What I can say, quickly listen me please. Hurry up. Close the door. In the previous lesson, I introduced you that medially it is more movable, more elastic, abnormal persons. You understand that instead of speaking with you about my subject, I interrupt it any time that you come late. Now look to me. Let's say medial. Medially skin is thinner, is more elastic. Laterally and posteriorly it is thicker, it is less elastic. Generally all these questions we discussed before. Now look, a superficial. Superficial fascia I don't draw. Let's say next layer, black layer, it is the proper fascia. Proper fascia. Structure number 3 in our picture, and structure number 2 it is subcutaneous fascia. Proper fascia in the femoral region, generally extremities, contain 2 layers. That is superficial layer and that is the deep layer. Generally in thigh region, proper fascia, superficial layer, we call broad fascia. Fascia lata. What is the meaning of the deep layer? Deep layer forms the intermuscular septus, as you remember, and it forms the interfacial spaces, which I will draw a little bit after for you. Now in the mid side of picture, draw the last ring. It is ring number 4. It is the femoral bone. In the upper third, we have the upper epiphyse of the femoral bone, or region of the metaphyse, upper metaphyse of the femoral bone. Now let's start to draw the intermuscular septus. Now minute attention in the picture. In the femoral region there are 3 intermuscular septus, not 2 like in arm, but 3. Now look here please, one is originated from the lateral side. It is septa A and space A. We call it a lateral intermuscular septa and lateral interfacial space inside of it. Lateral intermuscular septa and lateral interfacial space inside of it. Second one located medially, it is septa B. We call it the medial interfacial septa and medial interfacial space inside of it. And last, third one, we call posterior septa C in our picture. You can see that it doesn't attach to the bone. It is finished inside of the muscles. And now you can see this division of femoral region. 3 compartments, number 1, number 2, and number 3, which we call osteofacial compartments. First one we call anterior, second one we call medial, otherwise adductors, and third one which we call posterior. Anteriorly we have extensor muscles, posteriorly we have flexor muscles for knee joint region, and in medial side we have adductor muscles. Adductor muscles. Now 1 minute, attention to me. As you remember, by 3 imaginary lines, we divided thigh region into anterior and into posterior. Let's say right to remember, please, A, B space, together with first and second compartments, included in anterior thigh region, C-space with posterior compartment, number 3, included in posterior thigh region. Now let's start to draw the structures in subcutaneous fatty tissue. First of all, I will draw the biggest vein which we have in subcutaneous fatty tissue. Here, it will be approximately in midpoint, and that will be structure number 5. Thank you very much. It is vena saphena magna. Vena saphena magna. Mini detention in the picture. That is greatly visible in this picture. Skin is removed. You can see subcutaneous fat tissue, and inside of it the huge vein. That is the biggest vein, superficial vein of the human body. Mini detention to me. Why I drew it just in the midpoint of anterior region? Because it is finished in the level of the midpoint of the inguinal ligament, which is upper border of our region. And here, as you remember, proper fascia, which I draw here by this black color, forms the defect. It is greatly visible in this picture, which is called hiatus saphenous. This hiatus saphenous, it is superficial ring of your femoral canal. And as you remember, it is covered by some remnant of the proper fascia, which we call fascia cribrosa externa. And in that region, as you remember, superior inferior margins is very thick. They form cornu superior, cornu inferior. And lateral medial margins is sharp. We call them margo falciformis. Let's say vena saphena magna exactly become to the inferior horn, turn through this inferior horn, and enter inside of femoral triangle. Because behind this hiatus saphenous, we have femoral triangle. Femoral triangle mini detention to me. It is the part of space B. Let's say space B or medial interfacial space. It is presented here like blue. Sometimes you don't understand how it is possible. Now, 1 minute attention into this picture. Here the fasces is removed, and under them you can see this triangle. What is this triangle? Little after I will give you it. If I will show this triangle in the cross section, it will be there. Let's say this triangle, it is the medial interfacial space in the upper third. Now, Hamza, come here. Stand up in front here. Make the ring by your 2 fingers. Now put in front of my hands. Put in front of them. This is hiatus saphenous. His hands generally, which is covered this triangle, it is the proper fascia, fascia lata, and it has defect. This defect exactly we call hiatus saphenous. Hold your hands. Hold, wait now. No, make the ring. This is the vena saphena magna. It is come up to the hiatus saphenous, turn through the horny inferior, and drain into the femoral vein. Thank you very much. I think more simple it is impossible to explain for you. They say, remember, please, vena saphena magna. That is the cause why I draw it here, exactly in midpoint. In my inferior pictures, it will go medially. It will come to the medial side. But in our picture, it is near the midpoint of the inguinal ligament. About its projection, you know everything. Imaginary line between midpoint of inguinal ligament and medial epicondyle of the femoral bone. By the same line, we will project it also femoral artery. But you will put for the lower extremity special position. Look. Half flexion in 2 joints, hip joint and external rotation. In that position, if I will connect it, these 2 same points, I will have projection of not vena saphena magna, but arteria femoralis. But in normal position of extremity, then I will connect it, these 2 points. It will be projection of vena, subvena, magna. So remember, please, line is same, but position of extremity is different. Let's continue. Now look please to me. I come little bit medially to this V, and I draw 3 points. Let's put number 6 here. You know them very well. This is 3 branches of femoral artery. Superficial. Circumflexa superficialis, pudenta externa, epigastrica superficialis. All of them goes to the anterior abdominal wall. They doesn't supply anything in lower extremity. Transitional arteries, transitory arteries, thank you very much, remember it please. But anyhow, they locate it here. A little bit medially to them, I draw 3 black points because I don't have the yellow marker, and it will be 7 structures, thank you very much, 3 nerves. Ila inguinalis, ila hypogastrica, ramus femoralis, nervi genitofemoralis. All these 3 nerves in this level, it is sensory nerves. Why I say in this level? Because inguinalis and inguinalis, it is upperwards also mixed nerve. You remember it is innervated the walls of the inguinal canal. Hypogastric and ramus femoralis, nervi genitofemoralis, completely sensory nerves. But inguinalis, no. By the way, all of them from lumbar plexus. All of them from lumbar plexus. Remember about it, please. Let's continue. 1 more black point, strongly by big line, little bit laterally to the vein. It is black point 8. Name it, please, the nervus cutaneus femoralis anterior. Anterior skin nerve of the thigh. In the brackets, write, please, the branch of nervus femoralis. That is the branch of the femoral nerve. 1 more black point, I put in the lateral side. Here, 9. Right, please, nervus cutaneus femoralis lateralis. I draw it for you last time inside of the lacuna musculorum, as you remember. In the brackets, right, please, again from lumbar plexus. And 1 more nerve, I draw in backside, number 9. You know it very well. We study it in lumbar region. It is nervus cutaneus femoralis posterior from sacral plexus. First nerve from the sacral. Remember I told you before, anteriorly we have the lumbar plexus branches, posteriorly we have sacral plexus branches. Remember about it, that's it. That is all nerves which we have in the fatty tissue. It's for me, doesn't matter. Let's put the 10. Now pay attention to me, but I don't finish to draw the structures inside of the fatty tissue. In the lower extremity, fatty tissue contains so-called superficial muscles. That is the muscles which is located in subcutaneous fat tissue. Something like this we have in neck and head region, yeah? Impressional muscles. As you remember, for example, platysma or something like this. They are located in fatty tissue. Let's draw these muscles. First of all, first muscle which I will draw in the lateral side. This is structure number 11 in our picture. You know it very well. That is the muscle which I show for you. Here it's also visible. But I want to show a better picture. Sartorius. I need to show for you sartorius. Here it is cutted. But 2 tips of it you can find here. Yeah? Why I draw it laterally? Because as you can see upwards it is fused with anterior superior iliac spine. Downwards it is come to the medial epicondyle. And it is involved here in formation of the pes ansarinus minor. It is the tendon pes ansarinus, not the nervus pes ansarinus, but the tendon pes ansarinus. After I will speak about it with you. But anyhow, but look what I will do now. From proper fascia, I will draw the sheet which is covered this muscle from all the sides and form the capsule. That's it is inside of fatty tissue, but proper fascia cover it. Remember, please, much more laterally to it. I will draw 1 more muscle which is finished in upper third. Muscle 12. You know it also very well. This is musculus Musculus tensor fasciae lata. In my previous lesson, I told you that tensor fasciae lata, together with tendon of gluteus maximus and proper fascia, form the special structure which we call tractus iliotibialis. Now we will draw it together with you. Tractus iliotibialis also. Let's say it also covered by the proper fascia from all the sides. Musculus tensor fasciae lata. And approximately in this level, make very thick the proper fascia because it fused with the tendon of these mentioned muscles. And call it, please, structure 13, tractus iliotibialis. As you remember from upwards, it is fused to anterior superior iliac spine. Downwards, it is come to the Gerdi tuberositas. Yeah, a little bit laterally to the tuberositas of tibia. Now look here, please. This is tibial tuberositas. This is head of the fibula. Between them, we have the Gerdis tuberositas. It is also on the tibial bone, but little bit laterally, lateral tibial tuberositas, otherwise we call it. Or by the author, we call it the Gerdis tuberositas. Remember about it, please. Now, we draw all superficial structures. Now, let's go to the deep structures. And first of all, let's come to the interfacial species. Inside of space A, I draw just the black lines. Same inside of space B. It means these two spaces contain loose connective tissue. Loose connective tissue. Now let's come to the space B. Space B, guys, this is medial interfacial space. And it contains the main neurovascular bundle. The main neurovascular bundle located inside of it. Let's draw it together. Now look, please here. Medially, I put the blue point. It is structure number 13 in our picture. No, 14. Facial V. Laterally, I put the red point. It is structure number 15 in our picture, which we call femoral artery. Let's say femoral V, 14, and femoral artery, 15. And finally, laterally to the artery, I put the black point, 16. It is femoral nerve. Let's say from medially to laterally, VAN, VAN. Vena, artery, nerve. But what is important, guys, 1 minute, look here, please. Proper fascia gives the septa, we call it the Gauger septa, which is subdivided inside of this space, the vessels from the nerve. Let's say vessels and nerves subdivided from each other. Now 1 minute, look in this picture. That is greatly visible here. This is the medial interfacial space. In this space we have medially vein, laterally to the vein we have artery, and laterally to the artery we have nerve. These two structures, of course, septa here is invisible, but in the picture let's draw it. Septa of Gauger, French surgeon who firstly described it. I don't put the number to it, but just write it, please. Now 1 minute attention to me. 1 minute attention to me. What do you see here? You see here the upper third of your medial interfacial space. Open the brackets and write, please. Upper third of medial interfacial space we call femoral triangle. We call femoral triangle. What is the borders from outside of this femoral triangle? Now, minute attention to me. This musculus sartorius, by its direction, from medial laterally come to the medially, I cannot draw it here, but border this space from the lateral side. Medially we have adductor muscles, which I will draw a little bit after for you, and this is so-called long adductor muscle. You can see it here. This is the long adductor. That's a laterally, it is sartorius, medially it is long adductor muscle. And from upwards, it is the inguinal ligament. And so if here I will draw the same triangle for you, laterally it will be sartorius muscle, medially it will be long adductor muscle, and from upwards we will have inguinal ligament. This is femoral triangle. Idea is understandable for you. Very well. What is the floor of this triangle? Two muscles, guys. Two muscles. One muscle located more laterally inside of the anterior osteofacial compartment. Second muscle located more medially inside of the posterior osteofacial compartment. Let's draw these muscles in medial, sorry. This is one muscle. In my picture, it is structure number 17. This is another muscle. In my picture, it is structure 18. Write the names, please. 18 structures we call iliopsoas muscle. 17 structure we call pectineus muscle. Let's say otherwise this fossa, which you see inside the femoral triangle, we call fossa iliopectinea, because it is between iliopsoas muscle and pectineus muscle. Let's modellate it once again together. Look to me. This is my triangle. Inside of my triangle, I put my two hands towards each other. This is two muscles. My right hand is iliopsoas. My left hand, it is pectineus. Both these muscles, as you can see, covered by black sheet. Come again to me. Hold your hands like me. Now put your hands in front of me. His hands, it is deep layer of the proper fissure. My hands, it is two muscles, which I said you before. Hold it. What will be on this proper fissure? Three structures, as you can see. Hold it, please, now. We modulate it. Only one structure we must do out. Now, if I will remove my hands from this place and will make the same aperture, which I said before, it will be whole this triangle. And my hand now superficial layer of proper fissure, which is formed the hiatus saphenous. You understand it or no? This biomechanism you should understand. That is very important, guys. Let's say, look please to me. What is formed the floor of this triangle? Two muscles and the deep layer of the proper fissure, which is covering. What is formed the roof of this triangle? Superficial layer of the proper fissure with subcutaneous fat and the skin. And the hiatus saphenous, which is located in superficial layer of the proper fissure. I cannot explain it more simple, guys. I think it is understandable for you. Very well, if you understand it, let's continue. Now, inside of this triangle, behind of artery 15, draw one more artery, 19, and call it deep branch of the femoral artery. In the Latin, we say arteria profunda femoris. Deep branch of the femoral artery. Now let's draw it near of this picture. Let's say this is the femoral artery. And inside of this triangle, it gives the deep branch. This is artery number 15, right? And this is artery number 19. By the way, in the real case, both these arteries you can see, it is femoral artery, it is deep branch. Deep branch located behind of it. Deep branch located behind of it. And inside of this triangle, this deep branch gives two branches. One in medial side, second in lateral side. We call it circumflexa femoris medialis, circumflexa femoris lateralis. Now, if Omar had, it will be femoral bone. It will be surrounded by these two vessels. One is surrounded it from the medial side, another surrounded in lateral side, and they form the anastomos to each other in the level of the trochanter major. As I remember, please, it is two vessels. One is surrounded bone from medially, second surrounded it from laterally. I think it is not so hard to imagine. Now, 1 minute, look here, please. First of all, this medial circumflex, that's why we call it arteria circumflexa femoralis medialis, arteria circumflexa femoralis lateralis. This medialis one, don't write it, just remember, first of all, divide it into superficial and deep, and then deep one, split it into ascending and descending branch. Same two branches gives the lateral one, ascending and descending, but this descending branch is much more longer. It is reached the knee region, and it is involving formation of the knee arterial network, which we will draw after together. Another branches, for example, these descending, ascending, supply the muscles and make anastomose with gluteal arteries, mainly gluteus inferior. Samely here, it is make anastomose with gluteal artery, descending one, reach the knee region. Is it understandable for you? Very well, let's come again to our picture. Open the brackets and write, please. Nerve number 16. Inside of this femoral triangle, split it into terminal branches. Partly muscular, partly skin, and the longest branch, which is originated from femoral nerve, look here please, in the future pass together with the vessels, and we call it nervus saphenous. Let's say remember forever, femoral nerve, inside of femoral triangle is finished. It is split in huge amount of branches. By the way, one branch we draw, 8 one. Nervus cutaneus femoralis anterior. Another muscular branches come to the quadriceps muscle and innervated the quadriceps muscle. The longest branch, nervus saphenous. It is passed together with the vessels. Let's say in middle third and in lower third, instead of femoral nerve together with the vessels, I will draw the saphenous nerve, because femoral will be absent. It is finished here. Idea is understandable for you. Very well. We finished to draw the structures inside of femoral triangle. It's once again, quickly, let's make conclusion. Inside the femoral region, upper third, we have 3 interfacial spaces. Medial B space, in upper third we call femoral triangle. It is formed by the proper fascia. Proper fascia forms and floor, proper fascia forms and roof. Floor, it is 2 muscles, which is covered by deep layer of the proper fascia. Laterally, it is iliopsoas, medially, it is pectineus. Roof, it is superficial layer of the proper fascia, which is formed hiatus saphenous. Superficially to it, we have subcutaneous fat and disc. Inside of it, we have loose connective tissue with lymphatic nodes, and we have the femoral neurovascular bundle. From medially to the laterally, it is the vein, it is the artery, and it is the nerve. Inside of this space, the nerve is finished. Artery gives the deep femoral artery, which is give the circumflexa femoralis medialis, circumflexa femoralis lateralis. I think it is understandable. Very well, let's continue. Now, let's come to the space number 1. Except muscle 18, I draw one more muscle, which has 4 heads. 20, 21, 22, 23. All these together we call quadriceps femoris, the biggest muscle of the lower extremity. It makes 2 functions, guys. It is extensor for the knee joint, and it makes the flexion for the hip joint. Let's say, remember, please, this is your quadriceps femoris muscle. Name of the branches, parts, heads. 21 we call musculus rectus femoris. 21 we call vastus medialis. Vastus, it means wide. 22 we call vastus lateralis. 23 we call vastus intermedius. I think it is understandable. Let's continue. Now let's become to the space number 2 or 3, I don't remember, medial space. Here we have 2 adductor muscles. Now first adductor which I draw, it is muscle number 24, we call the long adductor. Long adductor. Long adductor. Posteriorly, big muscle, which is located deeper to that one, 25. we call big adductor. 24, it is adductor longus. This is adductor magnus, big one. Adductor. Between them, small muscle, 26, which is called adductor brevis. In the brackets write please, in the lower third it was absent, that's why it is short. It is presented only in upper and middle thirds. And finally, the most superficial muscle here, 27, we call musculus gracilis, the grace muscle. 1 minute, look here please. This is musculus gracilis. This is magnus adductor. This is longus adductor. Brevis is invisible because it is between them. All these muscles make that function. Adduction. Again I show. Adduction. As I remember, please, this is adductor muscles. By the way, I forget to tell you that 18 and 17 will be presented only in upper third. In middle and lower third, they will be absent. This is iliopsoas and pectineus. This is only the muscles of upper third. Ligand muscle number 12. Musculus tensor fasciolata, it will be presented only in upper third. In middle and lower third, it will be absent. Now let's become to the posterior compartment, posterior portion. Now this posterior portion at once, I split it into two parts. And lateral also I split it into two parts. And medial also I split it into two parts. Laterally I put the 28, 1, 28, 2, and here 29 and 30. Right, please. 28, 1, it is the biceps muscle. Biceps muscle. Look in the picture, please. This is the biceps muscle. It has two heads, yeah, long and short. Medially, we have two muscles, but, guys, they are located not in like that, which I showed, but one is more superficial, semitendinosus. Second is medial and semimembranous. They say 29, it is semitendinosus. Really, it is more superficial. I am not the Da Vinci, I cannot draw so good, yeah? You understand it, yeah? Let's say this will be semitendinosus, this will be semimembranosus. But in reality, tendinosus located more superficially, membranosus located a little bit deep. Between them, you can see groove. This groove will be structure number 31. We call it posterior femoral groove, sulcus femoralis posterior. And inside of this groove, but very superficially, in upper third, I draw the huge green structure. This is structure 32, and we call it nervus ischiadicus. Strongly by midline, as you can see, yeah? Again, not so midline in my picture, but anyhow understandable. Nervus ischiadicus. What is the problem of this nerve in this location? Superficial position. I told you last time that the most superficially, it is located exactly in upper third. It is the region of the gluteal fold. What will be after with this nerve? It will go deeper inside of this groove. It will be much more protected between the muscles. But here, no, just under the proper fish. Generally, guys, you understand that I say upper third, it is not the point, it is some distance. But anyhow, I show the most important problems, which is specific for you. But anyhow, I must say that even in upper third, it will go from superficial to deep. Yeah? I cannot draw it. That's why I show it in one point. Ideas is understandable for you. Let's say, remember, please, that is all important structures which we have in upper third. Now write the name, please. The cross section of the femoral region in the middle third.